afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Danielle McConnell. We are talking college football, college basketball, and NFL. You can only get that on All Indiana Bets.
My name is Jason Hammer. It's Saturday. Jeff Saturday is coaching. This could be the greatest day of our lives, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make a lot of money today. At least that's the game plan on All Indiana Bets.
Hey, I'm Scott Long, and what do we do on this show? We gamble responsibly, we drink responsibly, and we eat like hungry pirates at the end of the show. Let's make it happen.
Here we go.
This is All Indiana Bets, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. We are all Caesars.
We're on at noon today, just for today. Don't get used to it. We'll be back at 11 next
But we're
day.
on noon tomorrow, though. So, it's a little quirky today because Saturday NFL football. No reason that the NFL should be on Saturday, in my opinion. But if they're going to be on Saturday, we might as well make a little cash on it.
That's right. We are here at noon because the Colts are playing today, and we have an obligation to talk about it. Sorry, gentlemen. I know how you love that. But before we get to them, we are going to go to the check down with Charlie Clifford.
Good morning from snowy Minneapolis, guys. It's just about 20 degrees outside. Very pleased to be inside. And the injury report isn't very complicated today. Kenny Moore and Brandon Faison, two key members of the Colts secondary, are out. Moore, it's that lingering ankle issue. Faison has an illness and won't be able to go. The Vikings are pretty healthy, but talking to Minnesota fans, they haven't really bought in on this 10-3 team just yet. You can run through all the numbers. The most important, this is the first team in NFL history with 10 wins through 13 games, despite having a negative scoring differential. So everybody counting the Colts out today, hold on a minute. This Vikings team may be a little lucky to get to 10-3 so far this year. Guys, for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Charlie.
Are we sure that he was actually at a stadium? He looked like he was at a club. There was all these blinking lights. All of a sudden you heard a guitar solo. It was like, are they at First Avenue in Minneapolis? Some Prince tribute band. The Time is popping out. Morris Day is holding his... That would be my dream scenario. But I guess we have to talk about football. It's the Colts, kind of football.
By the way, the best Prince cover band, Purple Rain. When I worked at the casino in Shelbyville, we hired Purple Rain, R-E-I-G-N, to come in. Phenomenal.
I want to see that right now.
Yes, right. It's a great show.
But right now, we are going to talk about the Colts, and you have a player prop bet on this, Hammer.
All right, so follow me on this one here, because if you watched the last Colts game, you heard Troy Aikman begging and pleading for the Colts to throw a deep ball down the field to Alec Pierce. This is what needs to happen if you're the Indianapolis Colts. Look, what do you got to lose at this point? You're not making the playoffs. Let's see what happens if you throw a couple jump balls to your highest draft pick from this past year. So I am going to take the longest reception over 18.5 yards for Alec Pierce. If you're Matt Ryan, again, you're going to have pressure. Give the kid a chance. Throw a couple jump balls up. What's the worst that can happen? You get picked off? Well, that's been happening all year long anyway. So give the kid a chance. Let's see it. I want to see the home run threat of Alec Pierce in action today. Longest reception over 18.5 yards.
Okay.
Okay, I get to interrupt. That's what I do on the show.
I know.
Danielle,
I
you
was
were
doing the screen. I was like,
Poor Danielle. Like she knows she's never going to get a word in edgewise here.
That's okay.
Eventually, I promise. But
Okay.
it's just not right this moment. A lot of people that I talk to about this show, what they like is that we're not nice to the players.
Right.
You
we
heard
don't
it.
want to be friends with these guys.
I went to journalism school. I wanted to be a sports writer, and there was one reason I didn't want to do it. I don't have to face these guys after I badmouth them. They're huge. Have you seen these guys? So we talk the truth. We're like your guys and your ladies that before the game that are talking trash. We do it on TV because we don't face them. Danielle had an inspirational story she wanted to offer. We're like, you can't do this on that
Oh
show.
my goodness.
This is not the show for
I knew
inspiration.
better than
No
to not bring that up
inspiration.
here.
No.
Our inspiration is gambling, drinking, and eating. Those are three beautiful Trinity elements of all Indiana bets. I know you got stuff to say.
And
Sorry,
when Scott says we don't want to be nice to these people, it's not like we're doing it to troll.
No, we're just being truthful.
It's being truthful and it's being honest, something you don't get a lot in the
No.
mainstream media these days, unless you're listening to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Nah, please.
Okay, well, I'm about to give you a compliment. Scott Long, look at you.
Boom!
4-1
Pow!
on NFL picks last week.
Just say 18 and 11 on Saturdays.
That's
Whatever those
impressive,
are, those
my
5
friend.
weeks. I just made my own burst with my mouth.
Well, why don't you give us your first pick then?
Okay, so you know what? We are a show about Indianapolis, right? So I got to make a Colts pick. This would not be one of my 5 favorites. That's probably why my Sunday records haven't been quite as good as Saturday. I got to pick the Colts. Who knows what's going to happen? Look at the line. You're like, how can a 10-win team only be a 3.5-point favorite at home versus the Colts? That's because the Vikings are historically the luckiest team maybe in the history of the NFL. They are minus 62 yards each game on average this year. That means that this team has snuck by every time they've won, and they've got blown out when they've lost. I just think this will be a close game. Do I think the Colts are going to win? Do I think you should be on the money line? Probably not. I can't trust the Colts to do that. But this Vikings defense is terrible. There won't be the pressure on Ryan that you usually get. The $20 million guard and the $12 million center might actually be able to block somebody. I'm saying this is a 3-point game.
Now, from a pure betting perspective here,
Right.
Colts coming off a bye, historically, teams coming off of a bye
Right.
who are underdogs cover.
Yeah.
Now, that's not 100%, but that's a majority of the time, so keep that in mind.
Okay, how about your first pick?
So I'm going to look at the total in this game here, and I see a total of 47. So when you look at the amount of points the Indianapolis Colts have scored in recent weeks, what gives you any sort of faith that an over can be achieved today? I get some guys are banged up, Kenny Moore's out, maybe the Vikings put a few more points up, but I don't have a lot of faith in Minnesota to put up a huge number either. So we're going to go under. If there's one thing that you can count on, it's that this Colts offense is going to underachieve. The question becomes, what happens with Minnesota? I think you get a pretty decent effort defensively from the Colts today. Defense really hasn't been the problem all year long, give or take a 33-point fourth quarter against Cowboys, but all season long, the defense has actually been pretty good. So we're going under in this one. A lot of key guys are out, and I think this is the right side of this number, under 47.
Okay, it's Scott's favorite part of the show where half his head is covered by that QR code.
Boom! There it
Get
is, right there.
You can keep up with all these bets today. Coming up, we talk college hoops and feeling or fading, my favorite part.
We got a lot of stuff on the plate today.
We
NFL,
do.
and college football, and college hoop.
That's next on All Indiana Bets.
All Indiana Bets is presented for the people by Caesar Sportsbook, the only sports betting app you need.
Welcome back. It's a huge day for college basketball today, and we are going to check in with our local teams in our segment called Feelin' or Fadin'.
Oh, here come the cards.
I know. Did you like that little stack I did too?
I did.
I just feel
That's a power move when you've got cards.
Right. Okay, let's first up. Big one at Hinkle tonight. Butler hosting unbeaten third-ranked UConn. The Bulldogs are an 8.5-point home underdog. Hammer, are you feeling or fading?
I am feeling the Butler Bulldogs in this one. I think you're going to get a little Hinkle magic today. These are the types of games that Butler plays well in, and that's a big number. That's too big of a number. I don't know if I have enough confidence to take Butler on the money line today, but I think they make this a close game. I think they stick around, and this is a Butler team that's a lot better than they were a year ago, more well-coached than they were a year ago. So give me Butler here. I like the points here. I'll take the Bulldogs.
I will play him on the money line. That's
Okay.
how
All right.
I'm going to put 70% of my money on this game will be on the spread because I really like the 8.5. But I'll put about 30% of what I was going to put just on the money line. I think this is a great spot for Butler. They're going to be ramped and amped up for this. I don't think the coaching's that much better, but the players are a lot better. Thad Matta has always proven that he can hustle players in. I mean, he took two of the best players maybe in the city's history and brought them to Ohio State. So
Right.
I like him here. Go Bulldogs.
It's a much bigger game for Butler than it is for Connecticut today.
Yep.
Okay, next up, right down the road, Gamebridge Fieldhouse today is hosting a doubleheader. The late game in the Indy Classic features #1 Purdue taking on Davidson. The Boilers are a 15.5-point favorite. Scott, are you feeling or fading Purdue to cover?
I'm fading Purdue in this circumstance. They're going to win the game, but 15.5's a lot. There's the Lawyer brothers. This is kind of the Lawyer brother Super Bowl. And there's one Lawyer brother who looks like a college basketball player, and the other one looks like an accountant. And he plays for Davidson, but he could light it up. And he really found himself. He was at Michigan State, never quite found his niche. I like Davidson in this spot. I think they'll be more pumped up. I know Purdue will have a big fan base there, but I think this is probably a 10-point game. 15.5 is a lot versus a pretty good Davidson team.
So I'm going to go the other direction here. I like Purdue because if given the opportunity today, Purdue will put on a show because it's in Indianapolis. This is a hotbed of recruiting for Big Ten basketball. You've got Tom Izzo keeping his eyes into Indianapolis all the time. You've got the coach from the Hoosiers, Mike Woodson, looking around at what's happening in Indianapolis all the time. You think Matt Painter doesn't want to say, listen, we come down here all the time and we get the cream of the crop. So if given the opportunity, Purdue is going to put on a show. They're going to have some recruits at the game today. They're not going to take their foot off the gas. Purdue to cover.
You notice our Indiana grad just felt uncomfortable as you discussed this love for Purdue. Hey, this is a feeling and fading segment I wanted to offer. I forgot to mention our producer. Hammer, how long have you and I worked at Wish TV?
Probably about 2 years.
Yeah, that we started this last year. No one even knew we were on the air. And we are a sensation. We still have not been invited to the company Christmas party, though.
Not one time have we received an email or something in the mail to be invited.
I know. I am friends on Facebook with some of the incredibly talented figures that work at Wish TV. And it's not just a weekend thing because we got people that are in the camera, people, and the people that are in production. And they went to the Christmas party. I see they're exciting. They're all.
She was there.
Yeah.
Okay, boys. Okay.
But she should be there.
Did you know there's another game playing at Cambridge
They're
today?
all having drinks, they're having food.
I
am
hear
knocking
this.
each other on the backside, having a good time.
Guess what?
And we didn't even get an invite.
Hey, Hammer, you're Ball State.
No, let's just
No,
skip that.
no.
I'm fading that idea, and I'm fading Wish TV on this. Get us at the Christmas party.
I give up.
I think this is all
They're
that
done.
Phil Sanchez's fault.
I give
Phil
it.
Sanchez
Probably.
didn't want me to be the best looking guy at the party.
Good
That's
point.
what this is.
Good point.
Oh my gosh, I can't even go to commercial because you guys have more bets.
Please, let's go to something else.
Let's go to your second pick.
We got some
Scott.
college football going on today, Scott.
Let me put these on because this means winning. This is a Christmas present for everybody else.
Oh, here
who's
we
on the
go.
show.
We invite you to our successful things.
And I like to say it's Fresno State. They're in a bowl game. And what is it? Well, the bowl game is in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl.
Boo.
Well, it's not political Jimmy Kimmel. He just shows up for a football game. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a huge advantage for Fresno State. It's in LA. It's just down the road. All those kids were guys that didn't get recruited by Pac-12 that came from Southern California. Fresno State's been on fire ever since Jake Haener, who I hope is like the 6th round, 7th round pick for the Colts. He becomes the new Brock of the Colts next year.
Brock Purdy.
I really love Haener. He is my favorite quarterback in college football this year. Play it big on the Bulldogs.
Okay, Hammer, who do you have for your second pick?
So I'm going to bring it back to the NFL today because we got 3 games. We talked about the Colts. Game number 2 today is the Ravens and the Browns. Now you're probably asking yourself, wait a minute, why are the Browns the favorite in this game? You look at their records here, this doesn't make any sense. Well, 1, the Ravens don't have Lamar Jackson. Number 2, it's going to be kind of cold, a little windy outside in Cleveland. But number 3, and the reason why I like Cleveland today is this is the game where Deshaun Watson has to show up. The pressure is on. First week back, all right, there's a lot of drama. You've been rusty. Week number 2, a little bit better performance. This is the week. This is what Deshaun Watson was paid the money for. I'm not getting into all the legal stuff. You can say what you want about Deshaun Watson. I'm not trying to be the guy's friend. I'm talking about the quarterback, Deshaun Watson. He's the best player on the field today. Give me the Cleveland Browns to cover at home.
Did you hear that, Danielle?
I did.
He does not want to get anything to Deshaun Watson, but he boos Jimmy Kimmel.
Boo!
I mean, come on. Deshaun Watson.
Coming up next, we have the long shot and the degenerate special,
There we
and
go.
I think we're giving you guys alcohol. Oh no.
Oh,
That's next
the
on
bar
All
is
Indiana
open,
Bets.
baby. Let's go.
I fear for this.
The Long Shot, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook.
The people.
The boys were a little mad because I teased alcohol, and we found out we were still at the segment, so they just went and got their drinks anyway.
Hey, guess what? It's Christmas for us. This is our Christmas party, Hammer.
Cheers.
Wow, it's pretty pathetic. I'm going to put these on.
There you go.
This is the face of a winner. You saw the burst. Here we go. Well, it's the Idaho famous potato bowl.
All right.
Where is that in? Well, ironically, it's in Boise, Idaho. And if you've not seen their turf, it is a magnificent pukey blue. And
Pukey blue?
yeah, Eastern Michigan plays on a gray turf. They're used to playing on colored turf. It's going to be freezing there. San Jose State, I looked at the weather. San Jose, 63 degrees is the day. Eastern Michigan is Detroit. This is Detroit weather. These guys are excited to go to Boise and get out of Detroit. You think that San Jose's? Okay, here's my main point. My main point is I just love the potato bowl, and I love a potato, and I like a potato bar. We were talking about it. Let's go to the full screen. I want to ask questions. Danielle, what is
yes.
your favorite topping on a potato?
Oh, sour cream.
Sour cream.
Yes.
Now, if you're like at a potato bar and they've got like 5 or, are you going to put more than sour
Oh,
cream?
I'm piling it all on.
Dude, a potato
Yes.
bar is so underrated.
It is very
I've
good.
DJ'd my fair share of weddings, and one of the trends that I've noticed is late in the evening, people bring in like a snack potato bar.
Yeah.
Dude, don't sleep on a good potato bar. And fun fact, Reno, Nevada has the biggest potato bar in the world.
There we go.
Well, there you go.
There you
Look
go.
at my travel plans.
Look at the knowledge you get out of this show.
Bacon bits, cheese, sour cream, chives. Bring me a potato bar.
Okay.
hungry.
It is this segment called the Degenerate Special. Hammer, take it away.
Oh, here it comes. This is what the people want. Why would anybody care about IU against Kansas or Ohio State against North Carolina? Because Bowling Green and Tennessee Martin are going head-to-head today. This warrants your attention. Now, when you think about great Martins in the history of this country, a couple names come to mind. Martin Van Buren.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin.
And I'm pretty sure both of those guys could probably start right now on the UT Martin basketball squad. One of the worst teams against the spread in America. UT Martin, I believe they're 1-7 against the number this year. They're rolling into Bowling Green on a 5-game skid. So here's what we're gonna do. We're not going to watch the NFL. We're not going to watch these bowl games. We're going to watch Bowling Green cover against UT Martin. Make that bet, and that is your Degenerate Special.
Now you get to go to the bar, because that's next.
Been there,
be
done that already.
We'll be there for Best Bets. Stick around. This is All Indiana Bets.
The Best Bet is brought to you by Evan Williams. Bourbon done right.
Evan Williams, so good.
Yes.
On a cold Saturday, nothing goes better than a little Evan Williams and some football today.
It is the Best Bets of the day. They are brought to you by Evan Williams Bourbon. Let's go with Scott first. Or Hammer, do you want to go first? Who wants to go first?
Me? I'll go. I'll step up. So let's look at this Florida-Oregon State game today. The over-under is set at 53. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why would I touch the over? Florida's quarterback. He's probably going to be an NFL first rounder. Should he be? We'll discuss that at another time. But he's a dynamic runner. He's sitting out this game. No Richardson for Florida. One of their backup quarterbacks will not be available due to being arrested and thrown into federal jail. So this brings us to the third quarterback for Florida today. But this was a guy that was really good being recruited. He was a 5-star product. He's going to get his chance on the national stage today. I don't see a lot of defense. I know Florida was down a little bit this year, but they've got some speed, they've got some athletes, and what you'll find in a lot of these bowl games where the NFL guys are all sitting out, the guys that want playing time for next year try to show up and ball out. I think you're going to see that from Florida. I think you're going to see some offense today. I'm going to ride the Lightning, and we're going to make the over in this one, and that's my best bet of the day.
Mr. Long, who do you have?
Same game, and I like your reasoning, and you discussed the quarterback who transferred from Ohio State. I like Florida in this spot. Are they going to usually be motivated to be in a bowl game when they're 6-6? No, but you want to get your alumni base excited to go to a bowl game, send them to Las Vegas. That's a fast track too. That's a benefit. You're like, well, they're going to be using a lot of backups for Florida. Florida's loaded with talent still. I like Napier as a coach. I've been on Oregon State a bunch the last 2 years. They're well coached, but this is a big step up. The difference between the Pac-12 and the SEC is 9-3 versus 6-6. That's how I look at it. 8.5, it was 10, it's already dropping. I'll still take it at 8.5, and I'm gonna win like you will.
All right, it's that time where we ball on a budget.
Let's say that you've spent a little too much money at the holidays here.
Yeah.
Money gets tight this time of year.
Sure
I
does.
get it.
Not on a Christmas party, though.
No. They certainly didn't waste any postage on sending Scott, Danielle, and myself invitations.
I don't know why. I don't know why I started that.
Makes me upset.
Let's just say you got $5 and you want to win up to $64. This is how you do it. We're going to do a little NBA parlay today. So we're looking at the Pelicans and the Suns. The over is set at 228. Don't look now, but the Pelicans, one of the best records in the NBA. Zion, could he be in the MVP discussion? Look at that total. That's not enough. How about the Grizzlies and the Thunder? The Grizzlies, last time I saw them, they beat Giannis and the Bucks by over 40. 4-0. So we're going to lay 8.5 against the Thunder squad. They can score, but they can't stop anybody. Speaking of the Bucks, we're going to lay 5.5 as they take on the Jazz because their stars didn't play from the middle of the third quarter to the fourth quarter the other night. That happens when you're down by 40. They're well rested. Lay the 5. Mavericks taking on the Cavaliers. Cavs coming on a back-to-back here, had a good game against the Pacers last night. Game the Pacers should have won, but the Cavs had to scratch and claw and burn a lot of energy last night to get that home win. And now here comes Luka. Give me Luka in 4. Make those picks, put them all together. $5 turns into 64. Merry Christmas from all Indiana bets.
Coming up next, it is the guy that will win you some money. This is the Cashman.
Oh, here he comes.
Is he coming?
There he is. There's
Like
the man.
that. That's next on All Indiana Bets.
If you read that, it says the wise guy winner. Here is our wise guy, Alan Cashman. He has taken over the screen today. You're like right up there. I like it. You are getting up close with the people. What are the answers to the question of who you should bet on today, Alan?
Thanks, Scott. I like the Ravens today, plus the 3. Also, subscriber play. Those are 54, 31, and 1 in our last 86. Ravens took the first meeting in Baltimore by 3 points. No Lamar Jackson for Baltimore, but I'm not sure the Ravens lose much with Huntley in at quarterback. Huntley had a better INT per attempt ratio last year, more yards per carry, and he's got 79.5% completion ratio this season. Ravens 5-2 against the spread on the road, and then Ravens offense number 2 in the NFL in yards per carry at 5 per 2. Browns defense number 26 in the NFL in yards per carry allowed at 4.8. A Ravens win will cash an over 9.5 season win total for subscribers, and I'm backing the Ravens today plus the 3.
The one thing you did not mention is huge coaching advantage for the Ravens. The Browns probably have more talent. That's my look at it. Alan, how do you bring up these great subscriber records? How do people get a hold of you?
Go to my website, thecashmanwins.com. You can go there. You can get a monthly subscription now for just $25. That's thecashmanwins.com.
Thank you again. We'll be doing this next week. Oh, well, look who showed up.
I thought you wanted to see us again.
I did.
Hey, coming up next is the final pick and the hammer.
Pick.
That's next.
Pick with a hard P.
I'm just not even going to say it anymore. That's next, though.
Presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your first bet is on Caesars. Bet up to $1,250. And if you don't win, you'll get it back as a free bet. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and over.
Love the Niners in this spot. It's why it is my Ludazole lock. Deliciousness. Drink up the nectar.
That's why I feel comfortable going against the nectar of the gods. Mr. Long, take it.
All right, so wait a minute. Let me intervene here because it feels like a wager has to take place
I knew
here.
that was coming.
This feels like it should be the shot of the other person's choosing bet.
That's
Oh, okay. I love that one.
So whoever the winner is gets to pick the shot of the loser next week right here on this program.
It's a deal.
Deal.
Look at that smile.
I love how it was in black and white.
And that was not like just a bad beat. That was a crushing defeat. That
It really
You
was.
were never close. So I have met some people that don't believe that we drink the tequila and the nectar of the gods of Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Right.
And these are two of the least favorite beverages that Danielle ever could imagine drinking. Putting them together, they're so good, right, Hammer?
It's really good. Like,
Really
we're
good.
not on the air. This is something that we consume at home.
Yeah.
And again, Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew, because we're health
gosh,
nuts.
it smells
Mixed with tequila. We call it the nectar of the gods.
So good. This smells so good.
And
The
you just said
Lunazole.
shot. I did not have to drink all of this. It was
drink
shot.
some.
Just come on. Let's
on,
go. Let's go.
Danielle.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of it.
Oh, that's.
That was so good. Okay, let's move on. We got other things to do.
Yeah.
Where's my drink?
I love it. I love it.
What are we on to now, Hammer?
We are on
Final
to our
picks?
final picks here.
Oh, okay.
And here, I'll jump in and do this while Danielle recovers
Yeah,
here.
she's done for the day.
Buffalo and Miami tonight. This is going to be fun to watch. If you're a weather nerd like I am, this is going to be the biggest game of the year because lake effect snow warning is in effect for western New York, and that includes Buffalo. They could see up to a foot of snow tonight. Temperatures are going to be freezing. And who's in town? The team from Miami. And this is a true story. This is my favorite thing. Throughout the week, the Dolphins, they did their best to get ready for the conditions by practicing indoors and turning the air conditioning on to 50. Yeah, that's just about the same of what you're going to see tonight when the lake effect snow comes in and Bills Mafia is putting people through tables and snow caverns. So here's what you do. Lay the points with the Bills. When you look at the history of Tua, the 3 lowest games of QBR rating he's had, the temperatures have been low. Tonight, it's going to be low. It's going to be cold. Tua does not play well in those conditions. The stats back it up. Lay the touchdown. Let's go, Buffalo.
I feel like something has been left out all day. We're talking about college football, college basketball, Hammer, all his favorite things. The biggest event, it's not even close in the world, even in the United States, is tomorrow's World Cup final, France versus Argentina, the U.S.-England matchup. 20 million people in the U.S. watch that. Messi versus Mbappe. What an amazing game. 2 o'clock. You have got to watch this. There's no Colts. This is where it's all about the two best teams in the world finally are matching up. That doesn't always happen in the Super Bowl or the World Series. These are the two best. So Messi's last game. It's like, this game is kind of like if LeBron James was going to finish out his career and he was playing someone, let's say, that's Doncic or somebody like that. I'm telling you right now, I love France in this spot. They don't play the beautiful soccer like Argentina. They'll kick the ball deep. They'll have my favorite guy, Giroud, head balls in. This is going to be a great game. I love France. They're going to win, not like extra time. There won't be extra kicks. Win it. What was that, plus 180?
Plus money.
That's what you got to do.
All right.
Here, Danielle, if you're not going to drink it, pass me your nectar.
Here,
because
you
I'll
can
double
have it.
fist
This
it.
was as awful as I thought it was. Okay, I may have lost this, but one thing I've been winning at is betting against Louisville basketball team.
Louisville.
Yes. Have you seen how bad they are? Every time I bet against them, I'm winning. I'm winning, and I love it. So I'm going back to basketball. They're playing today. It's plus 18.5 that Florida A&M is getting. I am taking that plus the points. It was at 15.5. Just keep going up. Give me all these points. Because when I'm betting against Louisville, that is what I'm winning at this season. So.
All right, round the horn here. In your best Indiana accent, how do you say that name of the school?
Louisville.
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 This year, that team, Louisville. They are not even allowed by the
They
Chamber
get a
of
hard
Commerce.
S this year because of
Yes.
how bad they've been.
This is true. Hey, we have a recap of all the picks right next
And
on
food
All
is
In
coming.
Events.
Food is on the way, baby.
That is not nectar. That is horrible.
Delicious is what
Oh,
it is. We are your Christmas club today. We are going to make some money that you can afford to buy gifts for people you don't even like. Scott, what are yours?
Let's go down the list. Okay, so Colts plus 3.5. It seems crazy. Woo! I'm just telling you right now, when the Vikings do their skull, woo, woo, you're going to hear that, but you're going to hear it for the Colts too. There's a lot of points. I agree with Hammer on that. Fresno State, that's probably my second favorite pick of the day. I love Fresno State. When that game goes off in the bowl games, Hayner is a great college quarterback. Eastern Michigan plus 4 on the ugly blue turf of Boise. They're ready for the weather. Florida and Vegas, that is the play. The Pac-12 is just not that good versus an SEC team. And France, play the money line. They're going to win in regular time. It's going to be a great game, though. It's Messi's probably last game in World Cup. Exciting World Cup soccer.
So my picks for today, we'll start with the Colts and Vikings. I'm in on the under today. Look at what the Colts have done all season. Why all of a sudden do you think that on the road against the team that's trying to clinch the division, they're going to start putting up 25 or 30 points? I don't see that happening. The under is the play. I like the Browns -3 against the Ravens. I'm going against the Cashman here because home field advantage, better quarterback, Ravens playing with the backup. I'm not as high on the Ravens backup as some people are. Why would you watch a bowl game when you can watch Bowling Green? This is your degenerate special today. Bowling Green college basketball against UT Martin. UT Martin, one of the worst teams in college basketball against the spread. Lay the points with Bowling Green. Florida, Oregon State. I think you're going to see some points here. It's a bowl game. It's out in Vegas. Give the fans a show. Over 53 is the play. And tonight, in the snow, in the cold, take Buffalo. It's a big number. Divisional game, but Tua, historically, in bad weather, the 3 lowest numbers of his QBR history. We're going to lay the 7 with the Buffalo Bills. Those are our picks. Now, let's go to...
No, slow down. I got to tell you, if you want to have something enjoyable, you go to Goodfellas. They're going to be coming up.
Oh, yeah.
This cheesy bread is
I'm looking at it right
spectacular.
now and like...
so delicious. I don't
It's
even listen to
amazing.
Hammer. So now go ahead and do your thing. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead and throw it to Peter, because now that you want to interrupt me, you do the job here.
Hi,
Go
Scott.
ahead and go.
Okay, Peter's up. Go ahead, Peter.
Hey, I'm so sorry about you guys not being invited to the Christmas party. I don't know what happened. I personally sent the invitations to you guys myself. They must have got lost in the mail or something. I don't know what
Imagine
happened.
that. Something that you're in charge of didn't go right. I'm shocked.
I think what happened was, Mr. McCoy, our owner, may have seen the episodes where you guys took your shirts off and decided at that point to take you off the list.
We haven't done anything that Randy Ollis hasn't done.
Good
Come
point.
on.
That's
you.
fair. That's
Thank you.
fair. Bowl picks today. I've only got one. Everybody knows the two biggest bowls that the entire country is focused on during bowl season. You've got the Rose Bowl, and then you've got the Lending Tree Bowl between Southern Mississippi and Rice. Do yourself a favor, lay the 6.5 with Southern Mississippi. Rice is awful. They're 5-7. I don't even know how they're in a bowl game. They're one of the worst teams in the country analytically when you look at past just the raw statistics, and they're playing with a backup freshman quarterback. So we'll take Southern Miss minus 6.5. And this is going to break your guys' heart, but I'm not going to be in this seat tomorrow. Our intern Chris is going to be filling in for me on his last day, so I'm going to give you an early teaser day from the NFL. Colts plus 10.5, Ravens plus 10, and the Bills money line for all the reasons that Cashman, Hammer, and Scott have given you earlier in the show. Did you hear that, Scott? You won't have to see me tomorrow.
The production, I know, is going to be much more high quality. That's worth watching tomorrow. Thank you, Chris. And let's go to the next segment. Show us right now. I'm taking over the production. Look at that.
Hallelujah.
Look how huge
Hallelujah.
these pizzas are. They are amazing. I'm walking over.
Good fellas in the house. Next. Name me another show in the city where we bet, we drink top shelf booze, and we have special deliveries from Goodfellas Pizzeria. Will you look at this? Unbelievable spread. Drew and Chloe are here from Goodfellas. Man, tell me about who you guys are and where you're from so we can get to the tasting, because this looks unbelievable.
Sure, thanks so much. Hey, appreciate you having us on the show. We're from Goodfellas Pizzeria, 545 Mass Ave, not too far from here, right down the heart of Mass Ave in Indianapolis. We have a great pizza shop straight from Brooklyn, New York. Thin crust, hand-tossed, everything cut in-house.
Man.
Good stuff for desserts. You see up there, cannolis and chocolate chip cookies, calzones and cheese breads, along with some salads and things like that. So we've got something for everybody. Man, you guys couldn't have set us up better, by the way, having the drinks, because the little-known secret about Goodfellas is we have a bar in the back called Wise Guy, and we have one of the largest whiskey bars in town. So it's great to come in, have a couple of those
Okay,
nectars
enough,
of the
Drew.
God.
I know, Drew.
You way to eat, huh?
Drew and his son Michael and my son Sam play in the same travel team, play in the same high school soccer team, and he made a what are you?
Little challenge here?
Little challenge that we cannot eat this quickly. Are you doing it or me?
I think we should go together here.
There we go.
So what's the challenge, first of all, before Scott shoves his face?
I don't think you guys can finish a piece before this segment's over. There's a bet for you.
Accepted.
There we go.
Danielle, we may need your help here because we're going to have a mouthful of goodness.
This
here.
is-
You want me to
What-
talk instead of eat?
Yes,
No, I
what
want to
is
see
this?
you eat.
What is this here, this pizza here?
This is a Nonus pie.
I love this one. This
Known
was
as
the one I
pie.
requested.
It's everything an Italian grandmother would love on a pizza: meatballs, ricotta, onion, and garlic. Amazing goodness.
How good is that, Hammer? So good.
Oh,
This is so good. I love this place. I've eaten there many times. There's other locations too.
Sure, there's 3 in Indiana. We've got one in Broad Ripple, right in the heart of Broad Ripple, one down in Bloomington, right on the strip there. We're a 10-store chain based out of Lexington, Kentucky.
And something you might not know, I think this was the highest rated bar stool ranking of any of the Indiana pizzas when
sure
they
is.
came in. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so, wow. There we go, we're seeing it right now. Now, Drew, I'm curious, what is your pizza go-to when you...
Oh man, that's a tough one. So depending on the day, Pepperoni, jalapeno is one of my all-time favorites.
All right.
Get a little spicy, you want to go with some ham, pineapple, bacon.
No pineapple. Chloe, go ahead.
My favorite of all times is gotta be the Nonas.
Yes.
It's the Nonas. You get everything on there.
Ricotta
so
cheese
classic.
is so underrated. It just makes the pizza so delicious. And look what we got here. We got cannolis. I can't reach, but I'm gonna get over there.
There we go.
What size are these pizzas? By the way?
22 inches.
Now, are those the biggest in the city? They got to be the biggest I've seen, at least.
Well, to us, size does matter, so we believe they are.
There we go.
This is not a family show, so thank you for that, Jack.
We're 21 and over. We do adult stuff around here.
There we go.
Oh!
How does somebody get a hold of you?
So online, goodfellas.pizzeria.com. You can. We're open from 11 a.m. to midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and open late night on the weekends till 3 a.m. After you've had those cocktails, come down, take a look, and grab a slice out of the case.
I asked
I'm
for
almost
cannolis.
done.
He's almost done. I'm not going to win.
I think I'm going to win this bet. We got this.
Not with Hammer.
There we go.
Hammer, you got to go. This is way better than your shot, by the way, too. Hey, thanks for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow at noon.
Thank you, John.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you.
All
Hey,
the
all the
bets,
betting
appreciate it.
gods in your favor for him.
You're so good.
Whatever he said.
I'm almost done.
Get it!